Hi there, and welcome back to our podcast that is specifically made for you to learn English in practical, fun, and sometimes surprising ways. I'm your host, Ben, and today we're talking about something we all do every single day. Any guesses? That's right, daily activities. Whether you're brushing your teeth or cooking dinner, we're going to help you talk about it in English. And joining me, as always, is my awesome co-host, Claire. Hey Claire, how's it going?
Hi, Ben. I'm doing great. Super excited for today's episode because let's face it, daily activities might sound boring, but they're the most useful thing to learn in any language. We all have to explain what we do from morning till night, right?
Exactly. And of course, we have our vocabulary expert, Nathan, with us. He'll make sure we learn some key words and phrases along the way. How are you, Nathan?
Oh, I'm great, Ben. Always ready to break down all the tricky vocabulary so our listeners can use it with confidence.
Perfect. So let's jump right into it. Claire, what's the first thing you do in the morning?
Well, the very first thing I do is hit the snooze button on my alarm. I'm definitely not a morning person. But then I get up, brush my teeth, wash my face, and make some coffee. What about you, Ben?
Oh well, I'm an early bird. I usually wake up at 6 a.m. without an alarm. I go for a run in the park, and after that, I take a shower, have a quick breakfast, and then I'm ready to start my day.
You're so organized. I always struggle to get up early. Nathan, what about you?
I'm somewhere in between. I don't wake up super early, but I don't sleep in either. I usually wake up around 7:30, have some breakfast, usually just toast and tea. Then I check my emails before I start work. It's a simple morning routine.
It sounds like we all have our own unique morning routines, but I think it's time for Nathan's first vocabulary segment. Nathan, can you help us break down some of the key phrases we've just used?
Of course, let's talk about some useful words and phrases related to your morning routine. First, we have hit the snooze button. When you hit the snooze button, it means you delay getting up by stopping your alarm for a few minutes. It's something a lot of people do when they want to sleep just a little longer. You might say, I hit the snooze button 3 times before I finally got out of bed. Next is early bird. If someone is an early bird, like Ben, it means they like to wake up early in the morning and feel energetic. You might also hear the expression, the early bird catches the worm, which means people who wake up early often get more done. Then we have the phrase, take a shower. This is a very common daily activity. Notice we say take a shower in English, not make a shower or do a shower. It's a set phrase. Another useful phrase is morning routine. Your morning routine includes all the things you do every morning, like brushing your teeth, washing your face, and eating breakfast. Lastly, we heard struggle to get up. If you struggle to get up, it means it's difficult for you to wake up in the morning, maybe because you're still tired. So, to recap, hit the snooze button, early bird, take a shower, morning routine, struggle to get up. Now that we've covered those, let's move on with our conversation.
Great explanations, Nathan. Now let's talk about what happens after the morning. Claire, what do you usually do in the afternoon?
Right, in the afternoon. I'm usually busy with work, but around lunchtime, I take a break and make some lunch. If I have time, I like to go for a walk, just to get some fresh air. What about you, Ben?
My afternoons are similar. I usually have meetings or projects to work on, but I always make time for lunch. I love cooking, so I often make something healthy, like a salad or grilled chicken. Then after lunch, it's back to work.
Same here. I usually eat lunch at my desk, but sometimes I'll go out for a quick walk too. It's nice to step away from the computer screen for a little while.
Yep, definitely. Sitting for too long can be tiring. It's good to stretch your legs during the day.
And for anyone learning English, talking about what you do during the afternoon is super useful, whether it's about work, lunch, or taking a walk.
Exactly. Now let's go over some vocabulary related to afternoon activities. First, we heard the phrase, take a break. When you take a break, it means you stop working or doing something for a short time to rest. For example, you might say, I took a break from work to have lunch. Next, let's talk about get some fresh air. This means to go outside and breathe clean air, especially if you've been inside for a long time. You might say, I went for a walk to get some fresh air. Another useful phrase is step away from the computer screen. This just means to take a break from looking at your computer, which is especially important if you work at a desk all day. It's a common thing people say when they're feeling tired from too much screen time. We also heard stretch your legs. This means to move around after sitting for a long time. For example, after a long meeting, you might say, I need to stretch my legs. And finally, let's talk about make lunch. Like with make coffee or make breakfast, it's a simple phrase we use for preparing food. So, to recap, take a break, get some fresh air, step away from the computer screen, stretch your legs, make lunch. These phrases will help you describe your afternoon activities in English. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks, Nathan. Now we've covered the morning and the afternoon, so let's talk about the evening. Claire, how do you usually wind down after a long day?
Well, after work, I like to relax by cooking dinner. I love trying out new recipes, so it's a fun part of my day. After dinner, I usually watch some TV or read a book before going to bed. It's absolutely my favorite way to unwind.
That sounds nice, Claire. I'm similar. I cook dinner and then I either watch Netflix or play video games to relax. I usually try to go to bed by 10:30 p.m., but sometimes I stay up a little later if I'm really into the movie or show I'm watching.
For me, my evenings are pretty quiet. I make dinner, catch up on some reading or listen to music, and then I head to bed around 11. I think it's important to have a good evening routine to help you relax and get ready for the next day.
Absolutely. Having a set routine in the evening helps me feel more rested for the next morning.
Exactly. So for anyone listening, whether you're cooking, watching TV, or reading, the key is to find what helps you relax.
Before we wrap up, let's look at some useful vocabulary related to the evening. First, we have wind down. When you wind down, it means you start to relax after a busy day. You could say, I like to wind down by reading a book. Next, we have unwind. This is very similar to wind down and means to relax after stress. People often use it when talking about activities like watching TV or listening to music. For example, I unwind by listening to calming music. Then there's catch up on reading. This means to spend time reading something that you've been wanting to read but didn't have time for before. You could say, I caught up on some reading before bed. Finally, there's head to bed. This is a casual way of saying go to bed. You might say, I headed to bed around 11 last night.
Great breakdown, Nathan. It's really helpful to know these common phrases when talking about our evenings. I'm sure our listeners are getting a lot out of these examples.
Completely agree. And the great thing is that talking about your daily routine is one of the easiest and most useful ways to practice English every day.
Definitely. Whether you're telling a friend about your day, chatting with coworkers, or even learning new vocabulary like unwind or take a break, it all helps you improve little by little.
Plus, routines are something everyone can relate to. We all have them, no matter where we live or what we do.
Exactly. And remember, listeners, the more you practice, the easier it gets. Speaking of which, let's quickly recap the key phrases we've learned today. Nathan, can you lead us?
Absolutely. Let's go over some of the most important phrases from today's episode. For morning routines, we learned hit the snooze button, early bird, take a shower, struggle to get up. For afternoon activities, we covered take a break, get some fresh air, step away from the computer screen, stretch your legs, make lunch. And for evening routines, we discussed wind down, unwind, catch up on reading, head to bed. These phrases will help you talk about your daily activities in English with more confidence.
Great recap, Nathan. And remember, everyone, you can use these phrases in your own conversations, whether you're talking to friends, family, or even practicing by yourself.
Thanks so much for joining us today, everyone. We hope you enjoyed learning how to talk about your daily activities in English. Remember to practice using these words and phrases in your conversations.
And if you ever forget a word or phrase, don't worry. You can always come back and listen to the episode again. The more you hear it, the more natural it will become.
That's right. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do it now. In this channel, we provide complete tools for your English learning journey in a fun and easy way. Keep practicing, stay curious, and don't forget, language learning is a journey, not a race. We'll be back with another fun and helpful episode to help you improve your English. Until then, I'm Ben, along with Claire and Nathan. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, guys.